Hi, I'm Jen and welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new here, I'm a self-taught digital artist, small business owner, and content creator who designs all my products in my online shop, edits all my videos and content, plus a bunch of other things. This long-winded introduction is for a reason, however. I am the single human behind all things Fructus Illustrations here. And being a self-employed business owner means that I manage everything within my business, and if I want to succeed, there are many jobs and varying tasks that I must do. I've been working on my business for a year and a half now, and the biggest advice I can give anyone is that being organized is incredibly essential for not only keeping your sanity, but to succeed and grow. So today, I'd like to share why organization is so important, how I stay organized, and at the end, I will share the long-awaited, highly requested Notion setup tour. So if you'd like to skip to that part, I have a timestamp down below in the description. Additionally, I'm excited to announce that I now have 2 Notion templates that I have created based off my personal setup available for purchase on my shop, but more information on that at the end of the video. So, why is staying organized so important for small business owners? Running a small business often involves juggling multiple tasks, projects, and deadlines. So, by staying organized, you can effectively manage your time and get everything done. When you're self-employed, it's extremely easy to get distracted and to procrastinate, especially when you don't have a clear plan. For me, I find that being uncertain makes me anxious and it makes it harder for me to get started. So, by organizing my tasks and coming up with a plan to complete them, I have found that I am much more likely to get my tasks done in a much more timely manner and then get time to relax and have time for myself and overall have a better work-life balance. Organization helps build productivity. When you have a clear system in place, you can better streamline your workflow and eliminate any time-wasting activities. By organizing your physical and digital workspaces, you can easily locate all your information, your tools, and your resources, thus allowing you to work much more effectively and efficiently. I have always considered myself a well-organized person, so for me, an organized space means that everything has its place, and by doing this, I know that everything is exactly where I expect it to be, and I don't have to think about where something is. I can quickly grab what I need and reduce the chances of distraction and wasted time spending looking for that item. Proper organization is also essential for managing your finances. By keeping good track of your income, your expenses, any invoices, and your receipts, you can track your business financial health, and this helps with budgeting, tax preparation, and making any other informed financial decisions. It's much easier to make those big, scary financial decisions when I'm well informed. So I always make sure that everything is well documented and organized so that I can reference it later when I need it. Being a small business owner can be challenging, and disorganization can lead to even more stress. So, by staying organized, you can minimize confusion, reduce the risk of errors, and create a much better sense of control within your business. This promotes a much better and positive and focused mindset that will then lead to a more improved overall well-being. I don't like being stressed because if I'm stressed, then I get anxious. And if I'm anxious, then I can't get work done. And if I can't get work done, then nothing gets done and I can't properly relax or rest. So keeping an organized workspace and properly planning my tasks and priorities, I find that I can better manage everything that I need to do. And I get back to enjoying my life and having that better work-life balance. So with all this said, it's good to remember that staying organized is not a one-time effort, but in fact is actually an ongoing practice. Developing and maintaining good organizational habits will benefit both your business and your personal life and create a better balance for you. So now that we understand why it's important to have organization, I want to share with you the ways that I personally stay organized. When it comes to organization, I think everyone has what works for them, and for me to stay on top of my tasks, I have 3 things. The first is the simplest, easiest, and cheapest tool, which is a memo pad. As you can see, I always have a few on hand. I have been using memo pads to write down quick to-do lists so that I can quickly cross them off as I complete them. I use a memo pad, for example, when I need to restock items on my shop. I write down all the products I need to make, and as I go down the list, I cross that item out. I also use memo pads to write down quick notes and reminders for myself. I found that using memo pads are great for shorter tasks that don't take too long or are only a couple hours long, so that I can quickly jot down notes and remind myself of what needs to get done. The next tool I use to stay organized is a notebook, but more precisely, a business notebook. This is an MD notebook journal in an A5 size, and I have a clear cover on it to keep it clean, but it also has a nice little loop so that I can always have a pen to jot things down when I need it. It's supposed to be a page-a-day journal, but I don't use it every day. Instead, I use it to take longer in-depth notes or longer to-do lists. I got it in January to plan out shop updates and YouTube videos, and in here I also keep my notes on things that I often find myself referring back to, like printer settings, for example. I also write down motivational and inspiring quotes or phrases I find, as well as my current goals for this year. This notebook stays within arm's reach always, and it helps me organize my thoughts and ideas and just have a better sense of what's going on and what needs to get done. Now, the last but probably the most important tool I use to stay organized is Notion. I have been using Notion since July 2022, so it's quickly coming up on a full year of using it, and I can confidently say that it has been immensely helpful in helping me stay on top of everything that I do. What I love about Notion is that I can access it whenever and wherever I am. I have the Notion app downloaded on all my devices, so whenever an idea comes up or I want to jot something down, I can quickly do that. Recently, I received this iPad stand from Banks, and it's a nice little addition to my workflow when I want to have a multiple monitor setup. I can open my Notion setup on my iPad and see my tasks on the side as I do my work. But now let's get right into what so many of you have been waiting for, which is my Notion tour. Let's start on my homepage. So the first thing we see are these widgets that have the time and weather for the upcoming week. In my studio space, there's only one window, so I like to get a look ahead of the week to see if there's going to be a lot of sun or not. And as you can see, it looks like this week is going to have quite a bit of rain and clouds. I like to get a look ahead at what the weather's going to look like so that I can better plan out my content, so whenever I film videos, I know what my lighting is going to be like. Moving along though, to the right is my quick access section. But before I go through all these, I want to scroll to the bottom of the homepage. Here I have two calendars. The first is a monthly to-do calendar. As you can see, I haven't been using this as often as I should, but that's because up until recently, I didn't have many ongoing long-term projects. Most of the deadlines were on shorter timelines, so I used a weekly planner, but now since some things are beginning to have longer timelines, I will definitely start putting this calendar to more use. The second calendar is my content calendar, where I plan out when I want to post on various social media platforms. I will go more in depth about how I use this a little later, but I just wanted to show that it's here on my homepage for a quick glance and so that I can compare it to my monthly to-do calendar when I need it. Now back to the quick access section at the top. The first link is my digital business notebook. The first thing on the left within the notebook is some resources and links I use for reference when it comes to some business questions that I have. In the advice resources section, I have some information on contracts and agreements and more information on commercial or custom art licensing. In the links page, I have some links to some local arts and conventions, and as well as my links for various social media platforms and my website and other links that I just find myself sharing often. Here I also have links to references about some business expense questions, LLCs, and taxes. Also on my business notebook page in the middle, I have more pages related to various parts of my business. The first is my product descriptions page, where I have all the descriptions for my products for my online shop. And next is my newsletters page. Here I just have an outline for what I usually would like to include in each newsletter as I send them out. Following that, I have a manufactured research page. This is where I take notes and compare various manufacturers for various products. As you can see, most of the things here I haven't gotten manufactured yet, but that I would like to someday. So this is just a place for my preliminary research for the future when I do plan to start getting into that. But I'm not going to go through these individual pages because, again, like I said, I have no experience with any of them yet, so I can't say that I recommend anything. The next couple of pages are for commissions and art markets, both of which I have not been involved with, but I have thought about, so I just took some very preliminary research and notes. Again, I'm not going to go through these pages as I don't have experience in it, and I can't say that I recommend or will do them in the future yet. And the last page on this little middle section is my affiliate marketing and links page. This is just where I have an ongoing list of items that I use and recommend within my small business. The last thing in my business notebook is here on the right side, starting with my notes page. This is a place where I can take notes, but I found that I'm not using this as often anymore since I got my physical business notebook. I just find that I prefer taking notes by hand, but I like having both options for myself if I need it. Under notes, I have a design brain dump page where I have an ongoing list of ideas for designs for those moments when I feel like I can't come up with something. But let's get back to the home page, and next is my weekly agenda. At the top is the current month's weekly agendas, and at the bottom are all the past months. I like to move them out of the way so that it doesn't get too crowded, so that's why they are in these toggle lists and archived at the bottom. Now let's get into how I plan my weeks. At the end of the week, usually on Friday or Saturday, I will make a new page for the upcoming week. I just click on Add a new weekly to-do template and it starts a new week. Here is an example of a past week. The first thing that I do with every new template is add in the dates. So I just put in when the week starts and when it ends, and I also add in the individual dates for the days of the week. On the right side, I have a place for priorities, and here's where I'll write down any deadlines that I have to meet this week or anything that needs my immediate attention. From this list, I will then plan out my week and make sure to spread out these important tasks throughout the weeks if possible so that I don't overwhelm myself with too much to do all at once. Next to my daily to-do section, I also have my post tracker. This is just a checklist that I use to see which platforms I'm posting to and on which days. On the right side here, I have links to more pages that I use regularly. I've already shown my business notebook, and I'm going to skip the content creation page for now, so let's take a look at my newsletters page. Here is where I plan out my bi-monthly newsletter. I use this to come up with subject lines and a quick summary for what to include in the body of each newsletter. I also have a place where I can note the date for when it's going out, whether it's going to include a new wallpaper freebie, and what the status for the newsletter is. But let's go back to my weekly agenda and see what's next. And next page is for my blog. It looks and functions almost exactly as my newsletters page. The only difference is that I don't have a freebie that goes along with it, but everything else works and functions the same way. The last page link that I have for my weekly planner is for my finances, but I will get to that in a little bit. So for now, let's go back to my home dashboard. The next thing we will look at is my content creation page. At the top are 3 page links, one for each social media platform that I post to regularly, or at least I try to post regularly to. We have a page for Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, but let's start with Instagram. And this is what it looks like. On the Instagram page, on the left, I have a place where I can dump some ideas that I have for new posts or Instagram reels. And in the middle, I like to have a section where I can draft my captions because I prefer typing it out on here versus typing it on my phone, just because it's a little bit easier for me and I can just paste it in there. And on the right, I just have some hashtags that I might use. This is just for reference if I'm having a hard time coming up with a usable hashtag. Underneath that, I have a table where I plan out my content. Items that I add here will show up on my calendar on my homepage and here on the main page of the content creation page. Next is my TikTok page, which is identical to my Instagram page, except that the content ideas and items that I plan out here are relevant to TikTok only. And now moving along to the last page, which is the YouTube page. Here I just have a table for video ideas. I also do all the planning for each videos here, so let's take a look at an entry and see what's inside. We'll do the art room tour, for example. Here I'll write down an outline for what I want to discuss in the video, and I have a section for a list of any animation or title overlays I might want to use, as well as a place to write down the shots I want for the video. Recently, I have been keeping that list with my script, as you can see here, or on a memo pad, so it's just nice to have this so I know what each video entails and what I need to do. The last thing on my content creation page is my content calendar, which is the same as the one on my home dashboard. I usually add new items for Instagram or TikTok through this calendar by clicking the plus on the day that I plan to post. On the pop-up, I write the idea or the title and select which platform it's going on. Then I select the template I want to use, which is basically a guideline to help me plan out the idea. Now with the content creation page done, the last page I will show is my finances page. I won't show my actual finance page because I am not comfortable nor able to disclose exact numbers or figures for certain projects I've done. So instead, I will use a template I've made. Okay, so this is what my finances pages look like. At the top, I have this balance calculator that lets me quickly see how my business is doing for the year. I can see how much I've earned and how much I've spent in the year so far, and this information comes from the tables that are underneath it. I have two. One is for income, where I input how much I've made and from where. The second table is for expenses, and I input all my business expenses. Everything has an expense type, and I can see what billing cycle an expense is on. And the information from these tables, again, feeds directly into my balance calculator. And that is it for my finance calculator. Let's go back to the home dashboard. And as you can see, that is everything for the quick access section, and thus that concludes my Notion tour and how I stay organized while running my small business. If you're interested in having this exact template, it will be available on my shop for purchase. I will have two templates available. The first will be the basic monthly and weekly pages for those that just want to organize your daily or personal tasks. The second will be the small business owner and content creation template that includes all the pages that I have shown today. These templates also have my own artwork featured in them to make them much more interesting and inviting to use and look at. So here's a little sneak peek of what that looks like, and I will leave the links to them down below in the description. And if you found this video helpful or interesting, please leave me a like, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Additionally, don't forget to subscribe for more art-related or business videos, and if you want to further support me and my small business, please consider taking a look at my shop. The link is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!